Sorry, I'm going to adjust the camera here. 1 second. There we are. So I just want to say hello. My name is Petter, and I'm back with some more Tainted Grail on malts and meeples. I'm doing my normal thing of let's checking that I'm live. I am live. Huzzah! So, if you've been watching from before, I would, we're jumping into Chapter 2 of Tainted Grail. If you haven't watched before, there are going to be parts of this that don't make sense to you. You can come back and check this out later on Malts and Meeple's YouTube channel. I'm posting these videos there as well. And they go up basically immediately after the stream is done. But on there right now, I have my first game of it. You can see how poorly that went, as well as then the playthrough of Chapter 1. So, before I hop in and tell you a little bit about the game, let's talk a little bit about the beer. So today's brew is Size 11 from Steel Toe Brewing. It's a local brewery out of St. Louis Park, Minnesota. This is a beer that I've been a fan of for a while. If I look at the back side here, it says that it is 7%, hence size 7, and 77 IBUs. You know, to really drive home that size 7. Let's see how it tastes. Yep, that's good. I already knew I was a fan of it. It's just a good IPA. And at 7%, it has a little bit more body to it than some are going to. But it doesn't become too sweet or too malty. It maintains a really nice bitterness. So, let's do a recap. Last time on Tainted Grail, Arev left the town of Connacht to go hunting in the Hunter's Grove to prepare for his journeys across the lands of Avalon. There he met a bow maiden who had been injured. He, being a kind soul, agreed to help her and brought her to the island asylum where the monks were able to treat her wounds and cure her. He took that opportunity while she was being treated to sneak around, and there in the depths he found an archdruid, one who was willing to give him the secrets to lighting the Menhir. Knowing that he didn't have much time, Arev left the island asylum, traveled through the charred conclave, and headed into the town of Whitening. The village guard was not pleased to see him there, and he had to talk his way into the town. There he scavenged for goods, and he was able to trade with the townsfolk so that he was able to light their menhir before his own went dark. Exhausted, we work towards the next day. So we're taking the one in Connacht down to 4, and the one here in Whitening goes down to 7. We're going to hit night, and because I have no food, I am going to drop my energy level down to 0, like I'm exhausted, and then I only get to bump it up as high as I would for being exhausted, which is to 4. This kind of sucks, but my plan was to go to the Tanglewood, or tingle root, and get some food for tomorrow. I also have 6 experience to spend. With that, I'm going to place an extra experience in aggression. And I should have spent my magic. Or did I have 2 magic? I only had 1 magic. So, we have hit the end of the night. Going in here, flipping Chapter 1, Part 2. Place this card on top of the active quest file. The island opens before you, with its countless trails and possibilities. As you walk on, you realize it's been a long time since you wandered this far from home. What should you do now? Place 1 random event on top of the deck. Complete one of the following. Investigate the fate of the first expedition, finding its trail in the west. Reach Camelot 190 in the east to obtain help from its ruler. Explore the island and find a different way to progress the story. I want to go to Camelot. I know that might be a little bit cliche, but we're in Avalon. I want to go to Camelot. But right here you can see how the story is immediately branching. So we've hit the new day, except for there's one last thing to do. I have to read for location 107, the Whitening, the dream. Your dream of home is understandable, considering for the first time in your life you've wandered far from it. But why is everyone talking and walking backward? No idea what that means. Let's go. I'm up to 4 energy. I advance out to the Tangle Root. Costs 1 energy. Ugh. Gonna be exhausted again. That's fine. I'm gonna spend 2 energy to gather food. The advantage to this is I get to gather 2 food and fight a green encounter. This green encounter, fairly often they give you food. Hey, this gives 2 food. Unfortunately, it is a weird bear. W-Y-R-D, bear. I don't have a great spot to set it anymore, so I'm going to set it here. It's a level 2 difficulty, and it's going to be tough. If I don't play anything, I can escape and get 1 unavoidable damage. I have, for an action, I can discard a healing extract and gain 3 health, which would be nice. Let's see how much damage I can do to the start here. Drop that into play. All I'm going to do is defend. It prevents 2 damage, so I am going to take 1. And I get to draw an extra card. So I draw a card to get back at the end of the round and go up. Now I'm at 4 cards. Hopefully I can turn this into something a little bit better. Oh. That is not better. It sucks. I'm not going to play any cards. This really sucks to have to do it, but I'm going to have to run away from the weird bear, who is a guardian. So he actually stays on the map. I take 1 unavoidable damage. And I have to double check something now in the rules. So if I hop over to explore, combat, play, explore. I'm going to explore. So the reason for exploring and going to 114 here is I don't have to fight the weird bear. He's a guardian, he will move. I will be able to continue to go somewhere, which reminds me, I forgot to put it in 115 and 113. Onto the map. So I'll do that before I read Tangleroot. One 13. We have the Mirror Lake. Rest by the lake, gain 1 energy, health, and lose a terror. It costs 0. You can do it once per day. Then we have Titan's Steps on the other side. Explore when you enter this location. This exploration is free. That's cool. So I'm going to explore in 114 at Tangleroot. The oldest and largest of the forest of Avalon is split in half by a deep gorge. Roots of enormous trees burst out of its slopes and turn the trail from south to north of the island into a dangerous maze. Wooden planks, suspended bridges, and lanterns, tended to by sworn brotherhood of trailkeepers, make this road only slightly more manageable. As you enter, you hear human shouts and animal cries deep in the gorge. I can delve into the gorge. I can visit the Trailkeeper's Lodge. Pay your respects. I do not have Vale's Legacy filled in, so I cannot do that one. I can leave. I am going to go visit the lodge, I think. You find the lodge sitting atop one of the bluffs overlooking the gorge. You ascend the flight of stairs cut into the side of the canyon. If there's a time token on this location, the lodge is empty. Exploration ends. So we don't have that. If you have part 2 of Tangleroot knowledge status, the Trailkeeper cannot help you anymore. Exploration ends. If you have at least 1 caution, I do, or part 1 of Tangleroot knowledge status, go to verse 9. If you don't, go to verse 1. So I have a caution, so that will take me to verse 9. Oof. After a moment of thought, you disappear into the thick forest, circle around the lodge, and make your way through the back entrance. Lodge keepers wait in ambush around the main door, armed and patient. You realize if you attack now, they will be completely surprised. Ambush. Draw and resolve, Band of Highwaymen, Gray Encounter, difficulty 1. Each party member draws 2 extra cards the first turn. After combat, place a time token on this location and exploration ends. So we have a gray combat here, the level 1 Highwaymen. So to get those, I like to flip from the top and just find and put the other ones on the bottom. Band of Highwaymen, correct. Level 1. Ugh. This is not necessarily an easy encounter. Fair amount of damage. And I'm looking... I really would love to beat these guys, though. I have to do 8, but I start with 5 cards. Careful planning allows me to draw an additional card. Man, I do not have much. How do you do careful planning? There's my time counter. This may not go well. I don't have magic to use that. That doesn't do me much good. Can't use that one. Play this. That one I can't play. Oh man, this is rough. When you do that, to discard a card, my choice. That one's a good one to keep. Good one to keep. Can't play that one, most likely. So I'm down there, I take 2 damage. This is what sucks. No, I can't even do that. I have to run away. There's nothing I can do but run away. The main reason is, yes, I take a damage, but that allows me to, yeah. And so I have a choice with cards in my deck. I only have to maintain a 15 card deck, and hi to those watching. Just saw the message. I only have to have 15 cards in my deck, so I'm going to get rid of this one. It will sit over here. It is part of the cards I already own. I can stick it back into the deck if I so desire. So I rest for the night. I gain back a health. My health goes up. We're at 114. There's in fact a dream. You dream about the roots of giant trees digging deep into the black, oily soil. You dream about nutrients and pure waters sucked from the ground under the surface of the forest. You wake up strangely invigorated. Each character who has this dream gains an energy. That'd be awesome, except I'm maxed. That's a little bit rough, but that happens sometimes. So then we roll for the bear, and as long as it moves a direction, it's going to move west. So if I were to go to the Mirror Lake, I would have to fight it. However, I've been planning to go to the east to Titan's Step at the start of the day. I had to spend a food. But on these tick down. 3, 6. But before I do that, I want to spend the 2 energy here. I'm farming for food a little bit. Get to and do a green encounter, especially since I know the one that's coming up is going to give me a food, and I only have to do 4 damage to it. So we have a mist-shaped vermin. I'm sorry that's off the screen slightly. We'll move that guy over there. Move this up here. I do want to experiment some with camera angles in the future and lighting. I have the game set up, so I'm like, okay, well, I want to play through this as much as I can. Play this to gain a card. Play that. Get 2 damage. It's going to do... I would love to do 1 more damage. There's nothing I could have done to chain that better. Well, I'm going to have I can have 2 energy left over. Yeah, so let's see. I'll drop that in. Doesn't do me any good right now. But since I'm going to lose an energy, so I draw a card, I lose an energy, draw 2 cards, taking 1 damage by the way. I lose a cube to draw 2 more cards. So I have a nice hand of cards at this point, and hopefully I can just race to the end here, like with this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm at 5 total. Kill it, gain a food. Stupid rat being harder than it should be. I really need to get some more experience and kind of work with the deck, simply so that I can do better in combat. Right now I have too many cards that are just kind of don't do any damage. I'm going to spend 1 last energy here to gain 1, 2, 3 health. I am exhausted. Food, gain another health. We know the dream, so I'm at 4, but it gets me up to 5, since the same dream as the previous night. It'll tick this guy down to 2. So when he is empty, we're going to start losing pieces of the map. Ah, shit. I have been forgetting to do this. So, beautiful day. First travel costs 1 less. I guess this is only day 2. I wasn't going to travel yesterday, so kind of a moot point. So now I go to here. Refugees. Many of the people of Connacht no longer believe their farmhold can be saved, or can survive. You meet them on the trail as they run with their meager possessions. You do your best to convince them that even an inactive Menhir offers some kind of protection in its vicinity. allowing isolated pockets of civilization to survive. They do not listen and choose the dangers of the trail instead. Each player gains 1 free diplomacy advancement. So I draw the top 3. I don't have anything in spirituality, so I don't want something that gives me spirituality. I also have not shuffled this. So all of those are Arev. Place 5 random events on the top of the event deck. And the advice is don't let the Menhir surround you. So 3. Arev. Still all Arev cards. And none of them are that great for me. I'm going to go Nourished Sentiment. Seems like a decent enough card for me. So we'll go there. Shuffle again next time. Final thing, I'm doing this slightly out of order. Weird Bear moves south. And I draw 5 of these and place them on top. Oof. So I have 5 energy. I'm going to go here. Why? Because it gives me a free explore and there's a Menhir here. So we're exploring on 115. Titan Steps. These terraces and steps fit more for giants than men, offer breathtaking vistas of the rest of the island, and plenty of opportunities for a deadly slip. They are popular with hermits, who used to live in their many caves. On one of the uppermost terraces rests a temple of the All-Mother, now under siege by a large group of armed men spewing curses and erecting pyres by the sloping walls. There is no dial on this location, and if you don't have Shrine secure, place a dial here. Place a time token on the dial and set it to 3. Reduce at the start of every day. If the dial on this location expires, or if the location is discarded, remove this location card from the game and replace it with location 125. We could search the Hermit Caves, verse 7, visit the Besieged Temple, verse 8, sit and enjoy the view, verse 9, leave, expiration ends. We're going to visit the temple, 8. An enraged crowd gathers around the temple. The Red Death afflicts most of the people, but you can tell from the bleeding fissures in their skin. They build oil-soaked pyres by the walls, and some have fashioned a battering ram out of old tree trunk. From their cries, you gather they came here for one of the knights of the Round Table, Lord Gawain. They say he tried to secretly flee Camelot, carrying the sacred scabbard of Excalibur, as folktales go. Heals any wounds and stops bleeding. The sick of the island feel the scabbard should be given to them. They are furious with the knights who kept the artifact under lock and key for so long. Try and reason with the crowd. Resolve or chase them off. I'm going to try and reason with the crowd. It's the only one that seems that great. If at any point there are 4 quest tokens on this location card, Remove this location and replace it with 125. Roll a die and add 1 for each empathy you have. 5. They are unconvinced. They chase you out and continue the siege. So we need some quest markers or something. I lose a reputation. I have some to burn here. And exploration ends. So the downside with this is that's a roll of 5 to 7. That is not something that I can do. This is going to be replaced. I don't think I'm able to... I could certainly try fighting him off, but that seems like a bad plan. I'm going to spend another energy to go to the Hermit Caves. Maybe this will give me something. This area is well known for wild-eyed mystics and hermits pestering travelers, but their cave dwellings are now deserted and clean of any valuables. Why did all the hermits leave? You keep looking for clues, but find none. On the wall of the largest cave, among the profanities and crudely drawn depictions of naked women, you find a message painted in soot. Do not go to Camelot. 'Tis a silly place. That's what it says. New task. Find where the hermits went. So that's kind of a side quest type thing. I'm going to add it on the player notes here. Find where hermits went. And I have one action left. I want to get out of here. I'm going to go to the first farmhold, mainly because I can draw a purple encounter when I go here. And the loot is 2 magic. So the reason I want that loot is the Titan Steps has a Menhir at it. You can kind of see like Menhir show stuff in a certain area range. And so, which now we get 119 by the way. Derelict fleet, huh? Nice. But I have a 5. If I win, let's see. Sorry, I'm doing this wrong. Moved 1. Explored. Moved again. So, if I can defeat this, which I should be able to, I get a reward of 2 magic. I need 3 magic to be able to light the Menhir at the Titan Steps. I would love to kill them in one fell swoop. Don't think that will happen. I'm going to defend. But I'm not just going to defend, then I'm going to throw, which gets me 3 cubes. If I had a weapon, I could flip it over and try for more, and deal more damage. In fact, I could deal enough damage, but I can't. So this kind of sucks. Nothing happens there. This says with 3, you lose 2 and lose an energy. This sucks. Ambush. If you lose all energy, escape. However, I'm going to lose all energy, I think. So that causes me to lose 2 energy. I'm completely out of energy. They escape. I do not get that magic that I so desperately needed. I was close. They're not a guardian. So they go to the bottom of the purple deck. I need to, like I said, I really need energy. And now I am tired again. So that's unfortunate. I don't think... I mean, there was nothing I could do to avoid becoming exhausted. So it was worth it to try. And I get a dream here at 117, so let's see if it gives me something to consider. A tiresome dream of endless siege, defeating constant assault and hope. Even the direst situation, the first people of the island never lost hope, and that's the sole reason you're here today. Hint. There's always a way to gather enough resources to light the next Menhir. When you're stuck, explore. So I spend a food, gain a health. Unfortunately, I only go up to 4 energy. Or action. Yeah, energy. My terror has been great this time. So if you watch the first one, my terror was what did me in. And it's telling me to explore. So I'm going to explore 117 after, I'm going to remember to do this, down to 1 day left, and 4 days left at Whitening. We do a random event. Unnatural chill. If you're out of a settlement when the end of day starts, lose 2 health. That's brutal. So I'm going to have to end up in Whitening. And that drops down there. I mean, I'm still going to explore. And then my other action will be to go to Whitening. And if anybody has any questions about the game, let me know. I'm kind of not going through as much because I did that before, but let's see what we have here. When humans first set foot on Avalon, they occupied a small strip of land ripped away from the weirdness by Arthur's druid, Merlin. Besieged by horrors and ancient powers, they razed the round fort of Tainted and survived for 3 long years within the walls, repelling assaults and devising ways to journey deeper into the island. After the conquest ended, only a small farmhold remained near the fort. Unfortunately, the local Menhir, being the oldest, was also the first to go dark. So I'm assuming that's the one at the Titan Steps. If I had part 2 of Remnants, I do not. I could climb the fort walls. I can inspect the dead Menhir. I could comb through the remains of the farmhold. I could visit a nearby watermill. I don't have Secret 33. I want to inspect the dead Menhir. Basically, it starts with if you have part 2 of the remnants, go to verse 19. Should already be there. Huh. The statue rests some distance from the stone ring of the fort, lying on its back at a crooked angle. They say it was the first menhir raised on the island. If that's true, it's remarkable how little has changed since then. This one looks exactly like the one in Connacht, only older, more weathered, and cracked. It has, however, underwent some recent repairs. Several parts have been reshaped and replaced with newer pieces. Stone chips and footprints reveal someone has been working here for many days. If they know how to fix menhirs, maybe they could help Connacht. New task, find who tried to repair the menhir. So I'm going to add it to my collection here of side tasks. Who tried to repair the menhir? This game is a lot of fun. I think it would be more fun with more people. Oh, I forgot to move. No. The weird bear. It's moved into whitening. I desperately want to kill it because I want to end in whitening, because I cannot make it to any other towns besides that one. Screw it. We're going to move and we're going to fight the weird bear. Let's hope that cleaning out my combat deck has helped us a little bit. Man, a level 2 is tough. However, if I have some good aggression attacks. If I can get those going. If I could have gotten those going, that would have been great. I'm just going to drop a surprise attack. It's not the best time to use it, but it gets 2 damage on right away. The advantage of getting 2 damage on is that I don't take 3. I got nothing to connect, so it removes 2. Can't use that. That connects to nothing. Sucks right now. So we're dropping 3 damage on it. Three damage. I would take 2 and lose 1, but I can lose an additional 1 to only take 1. Sucks right now is I do not have the ability to chain. Or the ability to even connect well. I'm just going to run away. Why? I get saved to damage, but 1 less damage that way. I was really hoping I could take it out. I'd love the food. But what I managed to do was avoid becoming exhausted. And because I'm not exhausted, I'm going to have more to go with. Food is down further. So I remove the one from Kana. We're going to lose a big chunk of the map next day. I'm down to 3 in whitening. And the weird bear moves west, thankfully. Trade a food to gain a wealth, don't want to do that. We've already had the dream at whitening, so I don't feel the need to do that again. And I don't feel the need to read it again, I should say. I can go farm more food, but I have enough for a day. So I want to go back here. And I didn't draw a blue encounter because there was already an encounter there. So I don't believe the encounters stack. I think you just take one of them. So I hop back here. We're taking on a purple encounter. Whispering Wisp. It's a 6. Does terror damage, which is not the end of the world, especially if I can do low damage and then all of a sudden drop the hammer on it. Because I don't mind gaining a terror. If you reach maximum terror, escape from the combat. Thanks. It's nice. So I'm going to play this one down first. It actually doesn't really connect to anything except this, but that's a null. So I'm going to drop then this in place for the extra card draw. So I draw 2, and for each damage I would gain, I would get a point there, but we're at 0, so I just gain a terror. It's not bad. I drew from the wrong stack. So I draw 1 additional one, I guess, before that. I'm not going to do anything yet. I'm going to draw again, see what we have. I'll play this down first. Find Weakness. Allows me to draw a card. Shouldn't have played that down first, though, because I have no magic, nothing. That's actually fine. I gain +1 damage and a terror. But I get a draw. I'm at 3 cards. I get to draw 2 cards at the time frame passing. So we are... This is when I'm going to have to dump in the damage. So this actually works out perfectly. I get 3 damage right there. It's the only one I've connected. But then I get 4, 5, 6, 7. I only need 6. So I gain a magic. And when I take it out. And I forgot, of course, as always, to flip my new event. Because I really don't want to have to do that random event again. Howling Gale. When resting, gain no health and lose no terror. Sweet. Fortunately, I'm pretty good with that. I'm ready to go and explore here again. I could either climb the wall, or I could visit the nearby watermill. I want to check out the watermill, I think. Between the first farmhold and the whitening, there's a swift river with a lone watermill sitting on its bank. Which reminds me I need to spend an extra. The keeper of the mill announces, "My lord, I'm sorry. There's no gold currently available. Please try again next week." Who did he take you for? Amused by this situation, you lose one terror if you don't have part 1 of Strange Encounter status. So I lose a terror. That worked out well. Because it's not resting. And I gain part 1 of Strange Encounter status. There are 8 different Strange Encounters you can have. It is crazy. There's so much in this game that, like, I know there's stuff down here I haven't even made it to at this point. I have never been to this location or this location in 2 games. So there's going to be so much more I can find within this game. So even though it is really story driven, and if I wanted to, I could probably optimize a path to run through towards the end. I don't even care about that. Let's see, I have 2 more energy to go. I'm going to explore again. I'll probably end my turn at Titan Steps. Or I could go all the way to the Tanglewood, or Tangleroot. I could do a blue encounter going this way and then up. I don't think there's anything super useful blue would give me. Probably just reputation, but let's try it. Blue encounter. Level 2. Weeping Orphan. Yet another tragedy waiting to be revealed. Comfort is empathy, gives you double up. Enemy turn, or you can find a new guardian. I'm going to try for comfort. No idea how this will work. I really need to get empathy. I want to gain as little terror as possible. Huh. I'm going to put down False Promise, simply because that will move me up 1. And then I'm going to connect that for no other reason than I don't want False Promise there. And I get to draw a card at the end here, so it goes down by 1. I gain a terror. But I get to draw a card, and then I get to draw an additional one. And connect here. I have nothing that would give me up there, but this connects, so I go up twice. And I have to look actually here at Diplomacy right now, because I am connected on another one, but I do not have any spirituality, never mind. So her turn, it goes down 1. I gain a terror. Toss a dial. Skull side, so of course I lose a rep. It's less than ideal. Empathize will allow me to go up 3. At that point, it is done. I lose a terror, which is nice. I moved 1. And then I gain a reputation, so that what I lost is fine. And I gain an experience. I was not sure I was going to be able to do that one. His ability is not strong. Strongest at dealing with... Hey, welcome Poncho72. His ability isn't the best at dealing with diplomatic encounters. It's not bad. He's very evenly balanced. But, yeah, it's not the best. And so finally, I'm going to take my final action to move here. Spending a food, I don't actually get to gain anything, but I am back up to 6 energy. So I'll place that down there. And we're coming up on an hour here. So I will be wrapping up pretty soon. I think the plan will be knock out one more day and then continue. So this drops down to a 1. Last day I'll be able to deal with this. It's never going to happen anyways. The Menhir leaves the board. We lose anything that is connected to that Menhir. So now the board is lopsided. 5, 8, 3, 6. Now if you look though, I still have access to the Connaught Farmhold, which means that I could go back there and get that, but I don't want to. Dreaming here, I need to remember what the dream at this location means. We are at 114. 114. The dream allows me to gain an energy, but I cannot. So, we've ticked everything down. We haven't moved our bear. Stays where it's at. I'm going to spend 2 energy to gather 2 food and deal with a green encounter. So some people have complained about the food economy in this game. It seems like you're burning through it fairly fast and then you have to go back and deal with another or do it again. But I don't mind it so much because I mean, that's what it's supposed to be like. I'm not... And this was almost a point of contention with some people who were backing it on Kickstarter. They didn't like the fact that they weren't heroic enough. And I actually love the fact that you're not extremely heroic. First things first, random encounter. Whenever you would draw a purple encounter, take the highest. Whenever you draw a random green or gray encounter, draw a purple encounter instead. The cost of activating Menhir is lowered by 1. It's awesome. Miststalker. Only takes 5. So, I was wrong. I don't actually get this guy. I get the Miststalker instead. The one who seems to sap energy, but I can gain magic if I can deal with him well. So I'm going to defend to start. I could prevent 2 damage. He doesn't do any damage, but he caused me to lose 2 energy. I don't really want that. So I'm going to do a careful attack. Connect my bonus action there. I get 3. So I'm going to lose an energy and 2 cubes. That's what makes this guy so brutal, is the cubes. But I really want the magic from him. I mean, that'll get me up to 4. 4, I just lose an energy. Which isn't the worst, especially if I can get 1 more damage in. And I'm set up pretty well for that. This card doesn't actually give me any damage, though. So I lose an energy. This sucks because I'm not going to be able to activate the Menhir. But I do... let me grab the right thing. I can place a time token on this. It comes... I end my turn. This time token will come off. I will draw a card and then draw another card. And I'm just looking for a single damage at this point, which that's overkill. That gives me 2 damage. I've taken him out. Reward, I gain an energy as well as 2 magic. Oof. So that was interesting. I have 1 energy left. I could go and activate the Menhir. I will have enough energy for it. But... or I could go and try and fight an encounter. I have 1 energy left. I can't activate the Menhir if I want, but then I'd be exhausted. It would save me 1 magic, but I have enough for it anyways. So I'm just going to go here, spending my last energy. Because I'm at the Titan steps, 115, I can do a free explore. Excuse me. Which I'm just going to take the relaxing view. You can see your home from here. A rolling cloud of pure weirdness. Rolling clouds of pure weirdness look like they're about to swallow it whole. Each party member gains a terror. So, I end for the day. Take your food, gain a health, lose a terror, all the way back up. I roll for a weird bear. It will go west, which I believe, I have to look this up with a guardian, I believe it takes them to a high location, but it might just take them off the map. That's what I'm hoping for. Move it to the highest numbered connected location. So it was going off here. The highest number out of these is, so we have 101, 107 and 113, it would go up there instead. Basically, Guardians just kind of continue roving around. We took this down to 2. This goes away, and I have to look at this location now because I believe it told me to do something when that disappears. I have to replace it with location 125. Titan steps. Hopefully this does not change the requirement. So it shows me right here, and I would have had to have then dealt with a gray location, or gray encounter, but I don't have to, thankfully. It tells me that the temple on this is burning. So, done all of that, took that down, flip for the next day. Good weather. First travel of the day costs 1 less. I can look at this to see what it costs to activate the Menhir. It did increase the cost. It now costs an additional energy. So it costs 3 energy, which I'm going to spend, and in my case, 3 magic to drop a Menhir at 7 onto this location. All right. So I'm still looking for Camelot, but now I can activate a couple more locations. 138 off this way. I'm curious. If I look at 115, it always worked that way. So I've 138. The Plagued Burrow. Draw a blue encounter when you enter this location. I do want to wrap up for the day. Spent 3 energy. I'm going to move in here. Well, for free. Wait, for free. Do I want to change that up then? Yeah. I'm going to move here. I actually can now add in 140. The Dark Morass. Oh, there I can farm magic with terror. I have to deal with a purple encounter. The main reason I went here is because I know I'm going to gain magic. Opportunist. I receive 1 unavoidable wound with each attack if I have terror. So I'm going to be taking damage. I have to get to 6. Opportunity attack if I escape. I gain a terror. Let's see what I can chain together first. No great chains yet. Well, we'll drop this one in place. And that allows me to get 2 hits on it. And I would lose 1, except that's unavoidable, so I'm going to take it. I lose 1 cube for drawing. surprise attack. That gets me 4 hits on it, because this connects at a 2x, so plus 2, 3, 4. Can't do anything. I take a damage. I lose 2 cubes. So it's really important for me that I actually kill him this time, but I get to draw 2 cards. That card, it's not as good as I thought it was to leave there. I'm going to reposition and spend the energy to escape from combat, taking a terror, but I had no way to beat him. I didn't want to become exhausted, or I didn't want to take 1 more damage. So the reason I didn't want to take 1 more damage is because the reposition actually kept me from ignoring it, so I don't take the terror. Is because I want to be able to be at full health. So I spend my food, go up here, back up, lose a terror. And that's actually where I'm going to end for today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you are enjoying this, please consider following. And thank you to the new follower. Also, check us out on YouTube. There is plenty of a backlog there. I've kind of changed over to Twitch for the actual live videos, but on YouTube I like to keep the archive of what I've done. So this has been Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon. Yes, it is foreboding, and we are getting down there in terms of days, so we'll see how this goes. Hopefully this goes well. I should have taken a shot of the state of the board at the beginning of the chapter, and I probably will from here on out, simply so if I run into a hey, I'm dead, I can reset the board to where it was. I guess I have the video, so I should be able to recreate that somewhat. But thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, like I said, please follow, subscribe on YouTube. I also have a podcast that is actually not about board games, it's about Marvel, so you can check it out. The podcast is called 10 Minute Marvel. You can find that on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, or Google Play. And I also run a website which is called nerdologists.com. That is spelled, and I have to close my eyes to do this, nerdologists.com. There are tons of board game reviews and lots of things that you can check out there. I talk a lot about RPGs, anime, movies, books, anything nerdy. You can see this is kind of an extension of that. So I hope you've been enjoying it, and I will be back again next week for more Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon. Thank you so much for next time. I'm out of beer, otherwise I do my traditional bottoms up.